Can you talk to me a bit about what you're thinking right here from the portraits, from the champ select?
Okay, so first thing I'm staring at are rune choices and summoner spells. I see no teleports. I see a double exhaust.
Right.
I see the PTA on the Warwick means I'm not going to be able to duel him. I have tried the level 3 duels with him.
Yeah, it doesn't work out so hot.
It is not. I'm looking at my team's runes. I'm seeing Conquerors. I see Hail of Blades Kaisa, Aftershock Leona, pretty stock standard stuff.
Right.
Other than top lane, I don't really have a solid understanding of how the other matchups should go. I'm just assessing that, comparing it to the data I got from the blitz.gg's of like, okay, you are a sentient human being and
things.
you are
yeah.
and you are not, right? So that's my general
Okay, I'd be looking a bit more at the champ matchups themselves, just to have some general orientation of where you can go, where you might be a bit more successful. Top lane's melee matchup, they're probably going to be dueling back and forth. You don't really have great setup from your Mordekaiser, so it might be hard to get on the Tom, but Tom can't really move fast, right? He doesn't have escape, so it's all about DPS if you can get on.
That's his thing, yep.
So this might be a volatile matchup. Any melee versus melee top lane tends to be a bit volatile, so you can check up there a bit constantly, see if anyone's chunked. Lux versus Katarina. Lux has problems if Katarina's able to get on her, but you guys also have no setup between these two, so depending on the lane state, if she's pushed up, you can get on her, but otherwise it might be a bit tough. Although at a certain point, if you get tanky enough, you can just dive her, because Kat offers so much damage. As for
in this VOD, I tried to set that up mid lane like once. I spent an abhorrent amount of time trying to set that up, but Katarina kept hitting the minions.
It happens sometimes. Yeah. We'll take a look. Sometimes, objectively speaking, sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's the laner's fault, sometimes it's both. And sometimes it's just like unhappy circumstance. So we'll take a look. And then for bot lane, generally speaking, you'll expect double range to push into a melee support. And that's quite favorable because Leona has such powerful setup for you. Because Mundo doesn't have great like gank entrance, right? He doesn't have the best gank forces. If he has some setup, it's great for him. So bot lane is another lane that you'll really be looking at, which is great because you're naturally going to be pathing towards bot as a Mundo from the Raptor start. Lanes don't always go as expected, but that's just kind of the assumptions you make at the start, and then you adjust off of what actually happens.
The Glacial Augment is a pretty good tech from Lulu here. I think it's really annoying for everyone because all of us are trying to walk up at
to
them. So
it's interesting. I haven't seen it, but you're right. It could be
Me
interesting.
Neither.
Okay, so you warded this side. I would generally ward the opposite side of where I'm starting to check for an invade. You can ward the same side if you're scared of like a level 1 late invade. That's usually not going to be a problem for Mundo though, because he's starting Raptors and they're like a Tom and Warwick are not likely to late invade. So most of the time I would just put the ward on the cross side. Okay, let's check on.
It's fair. Here. I used to place deeper wards, but I kept on getting first blooded for not respecting my opponents.
Gotcha. Okay. I would wait until you're actually on the guy to turn on your W, because W doesn't tick. It's not like constant damage, right? It ticks at certain intervals. I think it's like 3.
Yeah, was I not on top of it? Oh, okay then.
Yeah, you procced it a bit early. Just get a bit closer to it first, because sometimes you'll get unlucky with the tick rate and it'll like miss a tick onto it.
Yep.
Okay, let's see here.
I knew I was recording. I was a little nervous.
I would just leave the W on. Shouldn't be a problem if you have sleep. Okay.
I've just done it a bunch, so that was my sense of via clear, just telling me a turn off W, it'll be close.
Okay, that's all right. Generally speaking, if you practice it down properly, you don't need to turn it off, but it's not a big deal. Okay, good reset. Good, you're checking the lanes. I would also check bot. Make sure to check bot as you're doing this, since you're padding
Yep.
there. Maybe pick up a control word here. You can also pick a control word at the start, since you have like a 150 gold extra. Don't wait in base to heal. You'll heal on the way over.
I sometimes do, but yeah. I go blue buff into get on top of the first scuttle. I used to full clear quite a lot, but I was told to stop by the last challenger coach I had.
Okay. What I would note is just because someone's high or low doesn't mean you default to what they're saying.
Yep.
A lot of challengers are pretty bad at clearing. You can definitely, if you do it properly, you can definitely still reach scuttle pretty much on spawn, especially because you went D-blade. It's a bit annoying because you're on red side and the wolves.
Yeah. It's hard to hit the wolves from here.
Right. There's two things you can do. Let me wait until you tap. Okay. So you can either walk around the wall and throw it from roughly here, and just take like the 1.5 second loss, or you can throw it from here and it can actually hit the big wolf. The only thing is it starts pulling over real quick, so you got to be careful. It might be set if you don't get over there real fast. But yeah, especially because Warwick's going to be pathing towards top most likely, like a red blue gromp or some such.
That's what I thought.
Right, like the scuttle's not going to be contested, so it doesn't even matter if you're a few seconds late. So yeah, I definitely would have picked that up. Okay, kite this towards the gromp.
It needs to stay in W. Slight efficiency loss. I turn off W to make sure my health stays high for any potential contest.
Oh, so you didn't take the gromp either?
No.
Yeah, for sure.
I usually take the scuttle and then head back into my jungle to clear the bottom to top if there isn't a play after the
if you want to be really safe because you expect a contest, then okay, it's conditionally okay to skip. Mundo shouldn't have a problem with this though if you practice the clear. Like you should be able to get this down right away and then transition. But okay.
I can and have done that. Okay then. So
it's conditional. Since you know. Okay. Wait. Let me see. Did you know where? Okay. Let me see if you know where Warwick started off the portraits. So. I
can't remember that off the top of my head.
Yeah.
If I did
so
not.
top and both got there kind of late. So you actually don't 100% know which side Warwick started on. Sometimes you can just click over real quick and check the portraits, see if they're missing any mana. But okay, that's fair.
I assumed he would start on red buff.
Yeah, same here. I would definitely be pinging.
Shit.
I would definitely be pinging the cross-side scuttle when you're doing this, because Warwick's obviously not here. He's probably on the other one, just to let your laners know that he may be in this area.
Yep.
And then the other problem is because you took the scuttle and then into this, like your raptors are actually respawning now. So if you go scuttle into your raptors, he gets there before you do, which could be problematic sometimes. Okay.
Acknowledged.
Let's see. Your F key's not too bad. A little late on the ping, but you did ping, so just be a little bit more timely on that. Okay, actually pretty solid camera control. It's not bad at all. Good job.
Yeah, I feel like it gets worse as the game progresses. Yeah,
it happens.
So at this point, I'm like, where the fuck is Warwick? He hasn't done anything. To be fair, top side and mid are kind of pushed in. Like
right, there's not much for him to do. Generally, at times like this,
bad. Yep. I clicked on it as I was panning over instead of yeah.
Oh, it happens. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Generally, at times like this, where you're really unsure of where the jungler is, because it's understandable. I'm not sure where Warwick is at this point either. Sometimes low elo junglers just path really strangely. What you do at times like that is you just check the lanes themselves and see which of the three lanes, like which lanes are actually vulnerable, which lanes which lanes are safe. And you just play it safe. Like if you don't know where Warwick is and the lane is in a pretty vulnerable spot and the other two lanes are safe, then you just ping that lane and just like you know, it's better safe than sorry.
I'm like, it's almost 5 minutes and I haven't seen Warwick.
Yeah, his pathing is a bit strange this game. I don't know where he is.
From here, I usually try to be on top of the first dragon as it spawns, just because the jungler show on the opposite side of the map's like, oh shit, it's free.
Okay, let's see here. What runes are you running? Do you remember? Are you running like magic runes plus velocity?
They are on screen right now. Fleet
gotcha.
Footwork, Triumph.
Okay.
Looks like Tenacity this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah, because Tom and Lux and Warwick. Yeah.
I'd be if you know you're going for the dragon right now, I'd be pinging it right now, like ping on the way, so that your laners know in advance. Because you know laners have to set up their waves in a way that lets them come and help, right? So they can't do that if you ping too late. So you need to ping your intentions in advance.
Look at the chat. I think I did once though.
509.
Just once.
On the way. Let me see where you pinged.
456.
456.
Like way too early.
Let me see here. Okay, good that you did ping. Yeah, I would ping a bit more than that because by the time you reach here, laners probably aren't gonna remember. So ping a bit more.
Object
but
permanence.
It is good that you pinged it. It's very good that you pinged it. Okay, good word. I'd be F keying mid right now if you didn't. Let me see if you did.
Yep.
Yeah. Before starting the step, I'd make sure to at least check the wave states mid and bot just to make sure, because you're not quite.
I saw
sure
that
about
cat
the
was
exact
low, so I'm like, oh, she took a bad trade and they got shoved under tower.
Which also does mean though that it might not even be good to go on this dragon right now. It might be better to just rotate onto the Lux here because it looks like she's pushing in. So there is potential there. Especially because you don't know where Warwick is,
I
you
don't
can
know.
maybe just dive, right? So just make sure to F key over before committing onto this objective. Because if Warwick's in this area and your cat can't rotate, this might get a little bit dicey. Okay, it looks like Warwick is right there.
Yep.
Okay.
Cloud is the highest TPS dragon, so if I start that up and get caught, I'm in a bad place.
Okay, your Leona got a really nice fight off. Great job, Leo. Okay.
I hit the slow. Yep. Fear. He's gonna smite the dragon, I think. Flashes.
Pretty good. Warwick played that well. Okay, so notice that Lux is missing right now, and this play has gone on long enough that their bot's probably around here. They're probably coming back in, and you're kind of chunked. So at this point, it may be better to call this off. This Lux is level 6. You don't know if she has ult or not because you didn't really check the trade mid. So at this point,
she doesn't have mana though.
I think she has enough for an ult. It's hard to tell from here, but especially if this is extended, because you don't have smite right now, right? So either way, this isn't a great time to force it, knowing that Warwick might be here. He doesn't have smite either because he used it to heal, but this is getting pretty dicey, right?
Yeah.
Because if their bot lane comes back in, this is 4v3, and you're already low and don't have smite, so you can't even rush this down. Ooh, okay, yeah, you need to peace out.
Yep.
Just give this up. I know it sucks. They'll probably get it if you leave right now, but
it's a cloud dragon. It's
not that big a deal. And if you die here, they get it anyways. So it's like this
it's such a huge loss. I walked. Oh my god, I walked on.
It happens. It happens. You were probably looking at the dragon, and then you just walked on that. Don't be too hard on yourself. Like mechanical misplays.
I
like that
thought I missed the timing window. I thought I had enough time to
walk over it.
Yeah,
it's because it's hard to get used to. They buffed it recently, and like its arming speed is like twice as fast as it used to be. So now it arms almost immediately. So it's very annoying.
I know that I didn't acknowledge the potential for V3 when I was spam pinging on this dragon. Yeah. So.
I think the initial play was good. Like the initial read was good. Your bot lane pushed in, the enemy bot lane reset, and your Mundo and all of your camps are down. It was a pretty good timer to start it. It's just that a little bit of an overcommit, and you didn't quite check the mid scenario and the bot lane wave quite well enough. It looks like your bot lane might have also gotten really badly fucked off of this, because I can't tell, but their wave looks really bad.
Oh yeah. It may have shoved in.
We'll see. The problem is that we're trying to gauge it off the mini map,
Yep.
right? When this is
Yeah,
something
I
that
should
you
have
should
checked.
have factored in the first place. Because depending on this wave, it could be really bad for your bot lane to immediately come over and help you with the dragon. Because they definitely
True.
want to get their priority here is to get the wave in and get the reset. Because dragon is like future gains, right? The buff itself is each individual
Yeah.
buff is not very strong. You're going for soul, so if they're actively fucking their lane over when this is their time to reset, right? They did a great job. They push this in, they get a nice reset off, they come back to lane. That's their ideal. If they come for dragon, you're knowingly putting them in a worse spot already because they're missing their reset timing. They're going to come over here, they help you with the dragon, then they either have to go back to lane with no reset and they're down an item, or they reset and lose a wave. So implicitly, this dragon's going to cost them a little bit. So you need to be extra careful that at least their wave doesn't get fucked. Because from the looks of it, from coming over to help, something went wrong here. I think the next wave crashed in too quickly and they weren't able to get it in time.
I can't believe I didn't check that. I'm unfortunate. No,
This isn't. It's going to be conditional. If this wave, I can't tell. If this wave is big enough, it'll crash in. Slowly, albeit, but it will crash in. And if this wave is not big enough, this is going to kind of freeze here for quite a while. So this could be very bad for your bot lane.
Yeah, that's going to deny an entire wave, at least.
Yeah. Although this is also partly on your bot lane, because they should know their own wave. They should know that if this is a bad play for them, they need to be pinging you off. Because, you know, as a jungler, like, yes, you definitely want to check, but just being realistic, you can't check everything. You can't know absolutely everything. So this is partly on them as well, for not notifying you, for not realizing what's happening with their own waves. But yes, definitely should have F-keyed mid, F-keyed bot before starting this dragon.
I agree.
And then...
It's a good play for Warwick. If he dies, this contest is a lot simpler.
Yeah. It's an understandable play. I think most junglers would have overstayed here as well. Obviously it doesn't make it better, but it's pretty understandable, right? Like, because you were initially the play looked really good. Then there's like a small scuffle. Warwick gets chunked, so it looks fine, and you kind of lose track of where their bot lane might be. So it's understandable, but yeah, you can see that this is
entirely avoidable though.
Right.
Yep.
So just give this one up. It's fine.
I almost had smite too. That's a shame.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It happens. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see.
I'm only human. Jinx flashes.
Okay, should time that. Great job. Great
Yep.
timer. Since you're dead anyways, it might be good to actually just type it out. Because people tend to time it and lose track, right? Like they click it and then you don't really go back. So during downtimes, because you're not playing with some super good support that's timing everything for you, during downtimes when you're like dead, running out of base, it can be a good idea to just quickly go back.
I have chat turned off, so that's probably why I didn't do it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I'm in NEACE's thing right now, so.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, tell me what you're thinking right now with your pathing.
Right now, I'm thinking the red buff is spawning and I want it, and Tom is really, really pushed up right now.
Okay, so no, you're probably potentially giving these camps up, but you may have to give them up anyways because your bot just like died there and they were pushing in. So this is probably Not saying your decision's wrong, just like I wanted to check in on.
I turned on the chat. Didn't DPS fast. I guess that was my reasoning in the moment.
Yeah, no, that was more on you.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing
I think that was a morale favor, yeah. Okay.
One thing that I don't like is I like your logic of Tom's pushed in. What I don't like is, again, you didn't F key before coming over. So the thing is, yes, he's pushed in, but you don't quite know what the wave is like, so you don't know if it's going to stay pushed in or if it's immediately going to bounce back, right? It's a bit hard to tell.
I also don't know what his resources are, so I don't know if he has health and mana.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Not a big deal. Just
probably because I'm typing this out, I don't check. Yeah.
Yeah. It is what it is. Okay.
Obviously the red did just Scuttle respawn?
Scuttle first.
No. It wouldn't respawn yet anyway. No.
Well, no. What I'm taking a look at is. Okay, you should notice Cat is so pushed in here, and Tom disappeared from top. Number one, if you F-keyed, you would have seen him pathing down. Number two is she could be getting collapsed on. Okay, this is one of those situations where, yes, your laner is really fucking stupid. Obviously, any competent mid laner will see, okay, I'm getting collapsed on here. Warwick might be in the area. Tom collapsed down, I should get out, right? So yes,
But
this is primarily on Cat, but you also didn't do anything to help her out, right? Because you have to recognize that your laners aren't great, your laners aren't going to see everything, and you were in a position where you did see it, and you had the leverage to check because you weren't doing anything. So you have to treat these kinds of situations as, did I do something to prevent it? If I did and she still died, okay, that's fine. I did what I could. If I didn't do everything I could, that's on me. That I didn't do what I didn't do what I needed to do.
And I know that Scuttle's not there because I took the bottom one, and there's an icon there right now, so I know that's where the Scuttle respawned. That's that's on me.
Okay, let's
Exhaust
see how this
upburned.
goes
I'm
pathing.
I hope I don't ghost for this. There's no universe this happens.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm well, because more teleported to mid. Cool. Chopper wood. I think I have a rough timing. His camps may be up now.
They should be.
Yeah. Because it's 7 minutes.
You both went. Wait, sorry. He went bot to top. You went top to bot. Yeah. At this time, it's expected for them to be up because there was so much action happening bot that you guys were both there for. So. Okay. Pretty decent read.
Use the smite. I'm pathing back. Use the plant. Pop the blast cone. Keep Mort safe. Go get my red buff.
What I would say is, I don't know if that was worth it.
No.
If your intention from here was that if you mistakenly thought Scuttle was up, that's okay because you were blasting over for Scuttle and then you're adjusting off this to take the free Gromp. If you didn't realize, if you knew Scuttle wasn't up and you were like inherently pathing over for his Gromp, it may be a bit inefficient compared to just clearing your jungle like Raps Krugs red into bot side because you're pathing so far.
The proximity, yeah. It takes too much time.
Yeah, just not quite worth it for one camp. Especially because Warwick may have reset towards this side as well. You're not quite sure.
Well, I would assume so because his red buff is coming up.
Oh, true. He's probably bot. Although, it's a bit 50-50. Sometimes low YOLO junglers are like just in places they're not supposed to.
I'd path towards it, so I'm like, it's my expectation he would be there until I have information that says otherwise.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here.
I wish I would have gone. Yeah.
Okay, this is fine. Definitely should be F-keying top while you're clearing this, just because it looks like they're scuffling just a bit. So you should know, like, maybe you need to path up here, maybe you path down.
I thought I F-keyed way more than this. This is unfortunate. That's
right. So it's like you did look, which is good. Your camera. I'm gonna be straight. Your camera control's not bad. Generally for this rank, it's much worse than this. So your camera control's already not bad, but you can see it's not quite there yet. Like if you F-keyed a bit earlier, you would be probably 3-4 seconds closer to this play because you would have kited this way instead of towards red.
Path towards them instead of towards red. Yeah.
Right.
Because I would have seen it happen.
Let's see how this plays out though. It could still work. Okay.
I'm just pathing because I'm here. I need at least an assist.
Right.
To like.
Yeah, but you can see like because you were kind of far, you needed to waste the ult to get over here. And if you were a bit more on top of things, then you still had your ult up. Okay.
And I'd have that ult, that playmaking tool, do the Rift Herald because it's close and it's here, and I see Warwick on the map.
Definitely still checking.
I wish I had ult Warwick right now. I wish I had my ult.
Yeah.
Because that makes this. I need Mordekaiser to come, or I'm not comfortable like staying here.
Good ping. Do try to. I like. Okay. Just to be totally straight, like your camera control is not bad. Your pinging is not bad. It's not enough, but you're already doing quite well. But you do, there's still room for improvement. You should have maybe pinged it earlier. Oh, good F keys. Okay.
I'm actively thinking about it because I don't know why I stopped DPSing this.
Yeah,
probably because I
smited it.
Yeah. Because I gotta go get the shit, right?
This is a bit dangerous because if Warwick's here, you're in like pretty low range.
Think I turned off brain, saw his Gromp was spawning. He's like, ooh, I want to get that on the respawn, but yeah. If I had my ult, it wouldn't be so. Yeah.
I would probably just smite this stuff. Like you're so low that if something happens, you're in a pretty bad spot. I would have just smited that scuttle.
Well, I see all 5 people, so I'm.
Oh, sorry.
I'm fine.
My minimap is like partially covered by the bar, so I'm missing some portraits.
Yeah, but because the Warwick is in the bottom of the map, and I see Tom and Lux in lane, I'm safe.
Yeah, okay, that's all right. Sorry, I just missed that work. Like, I'm not seeing some of the portraits because it's under the fucking thing. So yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that's like 3-4 seconds. It feels bad.
It's okay. Don't worry.
I'm not going to cover mid because oh yeah, here's the moment.
Yeah, you're too low for this. Just take this.
Yeah, yep. I don't think she saw me. No. But yeah. I wish I scoot the camera over a little more, but I can see Cat kind of. Well, all's off cooldown. Yeah, like, please stop hitting the way. And at that, I should have ditched it at the moment I saw her Q on the wave. Yep.
I mean, this isn't on Cat. This gank's just not gonna work. Like.
It's not.
No. I mean, she can. If she has ult, she can just one-shot you here. Like, Lux does so much damage. This just isn't a good angle. It's way too forced, and you have so much stuff on the map to take.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah.
Like, do you know if she has flash and things like that here?
I don't know.
Okay. See, the thing is, if you know she has no flash, if you know she has no ult, so she can't just like immediately burst you, then maybe this is okay, right? It could functionally be okay. But if you don't know she has flash and she just flashes out, like. What have you gained from this play, right? You have to
flash
ult
what I've sacrificed. Yeah.
No matter what, you have to ult on this play. Otherwise, you're at risk of getting bursted out. So
I agree.
Immediately committing your ult, you're showing yourself on the map in mid, and there were camps to take. And there's camps on your side to take as well.
Yep.
And then Dragon is also coming up in a little bit, so if this goes really wrong, it might impact the Dragon play.
That too.
So...
I also have like 1,300 gold right now. Yeah, it's not.
Right. Just with plays like this, it's like, yes, there's maybe some potential for it, but you have to kind of look at it like, you don't actually have to go for every 60-40. Just because it's a 60-40 and it's favorable doesn't mean it's actually good to go for, just because you're playing in a relatively low bracket right now, right? So there's lots of mistakes being made all around the map constantly. So generally, if you don't take this, a better opportunity is going to open up like 20 seconds later. You only take a play like this if like your team's really behind and a 50-50 is the best you're going to get. Then sometimes, yes, it's appropriate to go for these higher risk plays. But in this kind of game state, like your team's doing fine, it's just playing out, you're on a champion that scales, your team scales decently. You just don't need to go for a play like this where it's like, right? Because there's better options here. You can take all of Warwick's camps, you get his timers again, you can reset for a great buy and come back out onto the map. Maybe clear start from top side, clear down, go for Dragon. That'd be
I think I see the amount of money I have and I'm like, I don't want to answer that later. That's fine.
Okay, let's see here. Working towards 100% should be pinging Dragon quite a bit here.
Yep.
Just let your team know so they can set their waves up in advance if they want to come. Okay.
I totally agree. I think I'm like 8 games deep at this point today, so I'm probably just a little burnt out, but a couple of them
looks like you just didn't realize Dragon was up, so.
Okay, I'm like checking. I probably didn't get anything super valuable out that FP. I should have held for longer. I see him ult. I don't know why I'm not pathing to it.
I mean, he's like, if you F key over while you're clearing this, you'll see that he's running the other way, so it might not be a viable play to go for anyways. Like, maybe you can come behind and dive. Actually, now that I'm looking at this again...
I think I do actually end up diving this Tom because I want to drop Herald, because Mord is huge. So I'm like, yes, it's Dragon, but like if I can break Tom's kneecaps and put Mord big, it may be worth.
Okay, in that case, I would be checking this more heavily because I think you actually missed your opportunity. Because this tower is so low, you actually could have come here in the first place, you know? Like, just dropped it, run right over, dropped it, and then just dove. Like, it's not even a dive at that point because it just breaks the tower. Like, I think you maybe should have skipped. Another thing to factor in is, like, look at the lane position here. You were so tunneled on the mid lane play that I don't think you realized you could have made that play right here. You could have taken this, and then, you know.
I didn't notice at all. You're absolutely correct.
So don't be too hard on yourself though, because like your F key is already not bad. It's not in a bad spot. It's just that you can clearly see there's still levels higher that you can reach.
I agree.
Okay, looks like you're coming behind here for the dive. Let's see how this goes. Oh, I probably would have just dropped the rift. Ooh.
I get slowed. I'm like, I can't go in without killing myself, so Mord, you got it.
Yeah, here, I would have just, like, this is where you just drop the rift over the wall. You stand right here, drop the rift here. He can't get away, and then, like, the rift can come tank for you, so.
Oh, shit, yeah. You're absolutely right. I didn't see that line. I hadn't considered it.
Don't worry. Okay, dropping this. Just checking, it doesn't apply in this situation, but do you know how tower plating, armor, and MR works?
It goes up the more people that are around the tower when it breaks.
What about the plates themselves? Like,
the turret doesn't have any armor until plates give it armor.
Okay, good. Just making sure you know. Like, it has like I think 15 something like that armor and MR base, and it goes up to like 300 or something by the 4th plate chunked off. Just making sure you know that when you're like pushing a turret, that you summon it after you chunk some plates.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Okay, good.
I see where everyone. I was fairly confident that because I didn't see the Warwick yet, he's not here, so I'm like, I'll proxy this wave, so Mord doesn't have to, and he can base here.
Okay, I agree with this play. The only conditional is if Mord pings you off, just leave. It's not worth pissing your laner off on a play like this.
I understand.
But I agree with I do agree with proxying it and getting this in so we get the push. That's a good.
And I see his camps here. I see that Scuttle spawning, so I'm like, Wolves, Gromp, Scuttle.
Yeah, the only thing to be aware of is that you're in vision as you're passing through here, so you need to be a bit careful. I maybe would have gone for Gromp and pulled it up towards Scuttle and maybe just bypassed the Wolves, because Wolves is a bit deep, because...
I definitely was respecting Lux.
Yeah, because I think you can see Lux pathing out towards you here.
I can.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't respond. Yeah.
And maybe a question mark ping on Dragon here, since Warwick may be somewhere in the area.
Since his camps are up, I'm pretty confident Warwick's on the other side of the map, and, you know, I hope I don't die. I think I have to pop Ghost to not get dogged down because Tom is coming.
Let's see, good dodge. Yeah, you
slow. Yeah, dead. Yeah, I should have coasted immediately. Yeah,
well, the bigger problem was just not seeing her moving across on the minimap. Okay, looks like Warwick Dragon. You do have his rough camp timers here, which isn't bad. Okay, wrap up the camp tank.
I didn't have anything else to buy, otherwise I wouldn't have bought that wood. What's still down? Scuttle's up. I have to assume these... what was I thinking on this pathing?
Wait, let me check.
I didn't
by itself. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, talk to me about that. What were you thinking? What do you think you were thinking? If you don't remember, just judge off what you see right now, because that's your decision-making process. So
I see I may have to cover bot lane, though Jinx has no mana, so I don't know how likely she is to push. I know that Warwick is pathing away from that side of the map, so I don't know if Jinx would feel confident to stay and push for plates, especially with Katarina being a champion. I'm also thinking I would like to continue abusing this Tom Kench, so I want to path towards top side in order to facilitate that. Though with Mord as big as he is, he may be able to do that on his own.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
He was 3-0, had a full Rift Maker, so I'm like, he can probably do it on his own.
Okay, so what I'm hoping you do
Yep.
during this decision is F key to mid and top, because I'd love to see what the wave looks like for Tom, because there's a great chance he just crashes this and leaves after he crashes the wave. So I'm hoping you F key over before deciding where to
Me
go.
too. I do not. I am eyes are glued to the low health delaners and the Jinx.
This is the high. This is for sure the higher priority spot to like get to immediately in terms of if you need to be somewhere right away. They're low and they're getting pushed in. But yeah, ideally it would have been good to check regardless. It's just such a long walk that you have time. Okay.
I also wanted to be here to cover the bot tower. So
Okay,
Jinx wouldn't- yep.
You could
that way
potentially just
may not
kill
be-
Jinx from behind here. The blast is up. Like
Oh,
right
shit.
here you should be F keying to bot, or not F key, but clicking to bot, because Leona's still here too. So Leona can still help you on the play as well. She's kind of low, but you can even solo Jinx probably because you know she had no mana.
Yeah,
because like she pushed
I
this
have
wave
a
in.
chem tank and sadism. Yeah, yeah.
Right. If you were more aware of this wave state coming in, you'd know that Jinx is gonna stay because she wasn't able to get the wave in time. The previous wave had a cannon and she had no mana, so she couldn't push in time. So F key right here, because this is pivotal. Knowing whether this wave crashes or not is pivotal. If this crashes, Jinx is probably leaving. If this is unable to crash, Jinx has to stay. And if you come in here, even if the gank doesn't work, even if she just leaves, then the wave gets frozen, right? She pushed in,
I
but
can pull
wasn't
the
able
wave,
to get
yeah,
into
yeah.
tower. So this is a
Oh, shit, yeah.
really strong time, really good time to be checking, because it does look like, right, she wasn't able to get it in time. So this doesn't need to be a collect wave, this can be an actual gank or punish.
It feels like I pre-decided that I was going to hold the tower and
right.
just didn't consider. That's unacceptable.
Okay.
I am better than that. I am better than that.
Try not to
see
look
Lou.
at it as like I'm better than that, I'm worse than that. It straight up just doesn't matter what your skill level is, where you
Okay.
think your skill level it is. Like the mistake is
Okay.
there. It is what it is, exactly what it is. It's nothing more, it's nothing less, right? It's just fix
Okay.
it, and that's it. A lot of players get
I
a
know
little
I'm
bit
capable
attached.
of doing better.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Given from what I've seen from you, you're for sure capable of doing better. People tend to look at it like I had a bad game, it was a fluke. I'm gonna ignore this, you know.
Yeah.
That's not true. Maybe if you're like drunk or like 20 games in, it's a fluke game in really extreme circumstances. But generally speaking, a bad game is still within your range of skill, right? You're not like one set skill level, you're a range of skill that goes a bit above and below it. And given like if you're more comfortable, less comfortable with the champs in the game, with that kind of game state, it kind of fluctuates a bit, right? So don't treat it as like a fluke, just treat it as that's part of your play, and see if it's systemic, see if it comes, you know, because I agree you're capable of more. I don't think this is a fluke, because it's happened throughout the game, right? There's been multiple points
It has.
where you've kind of defaulted to a play without checking the lane first.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe get on Lulu here. Ooh,
Uh,
unfortunate.
that was a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I hit the slow. I don't know why I passed that, but ult is good at the very least. I'm pretty sure she still didn't have flash.
I think
From no,
you don't even.
I don't
throw
know why-
Lulu here. You just chem tank in.
I just got. Oh shit! Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Okay. I think it was okay.
I think I was being greedy. Yeah.
Until because Leona was so close, I would have expected her to hit her thing too. As soon as Leona misses it, that's when I would chem tank. Before Leona,
Yep.
before Leona comes in, I wouldn't hit it. But once she misses, it's time to hit chem tank. Because if you don't hit this cleaver, she's out.
I did not reassess after the play started, so yeah.
Okay. Good.
I'm just because I'm thinking about trying to dive Jinx right here, because I know for a fact that Jinx is coming back, and I know for the fact that wave is crashing in, and I know I have both my full health just-based bot lane here, so I'm like, and I have ult on Leona, so I'm like, it's free.
Okay, I love your thinking. I think your thinking is great. The concept is fantastic. The failure comes at the exact same point that the previous ones have.
I stopped thinking.
You stopped looking because you don't know how big this wave is. You don't know if this is like an appropriate dive, if Jinx actually has to walk up to this, or if the wave's going to get cleared by tower. There's a great chance that instead of waiting for Jinx to walk up, depending on who else is here, you know she's alone, but it may be better just to interrupt her here. You know, like chem tank right out here and just kill her without her ever reaching tower.
Okay.
I would have kited this over to the bush so you can actually see Jinx coming while you're doing this camp. And then I would have quickly F-keyed to Kai'Sa to see just how big is this wave, how low is this tower. You know, it's relevant info. In this situation, it's probably safe regardless because it's Jinx is alone. You know Lulu's dead. You know everyone else is gone on the map. But because Leona's far, if this wave dies, you might have to ult for it when you shouldn't have to ult for this play, right?
Okay.
Because definitely if you're standing here, you can see Jinx coming. You just chem tank right at her and she's dead. Run it down. But let's see how this plays out. Because if you use ult on this play, I think it's wasted.
It depends whether or not Leona hits the skill shots.
Right, but this is like a lot of wasted time, right? You're losing tempo on the other side of the map. You're losing camp tempo. You could have killed her over here. You didn't need to wait for her to run all the way up.
Yep. I understand that in this moment. I'm like, I have spent a lot of time here. I need to go.
Right. Okay, yeah, see, like, you wasted a lot of time, you wasted your ult. You probably didn't need to ult here, to be honest, because Leona just comes in with Aftershock, stuns her, you kill her. So this ult's not necessary, either. Especially because you have everything for speed.
The fact she didn't throw down the ult immediately kind of scared me, so that's why I pumped sadism.
I mean, that's correct of her. She should just walk up and stun for the guaranteed. Because
yeah. So, like, I expected Solar Flare to come down there. So after that didn't happen, I'm like, this Leona's acting kind of sus. I have to commit more resources.
Yeah, no, that's a misplay on your part because Leona played this correctly. Leona should just walk up to this and get the guaranteed stun. There's no need for anyone to ult here. This is a 3v1 play with 2 tanks and a DPS, and one of the tanks does huge DPS. So nobody needs to ult here.
Yep. I just did not have confidence. Okay.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, let's keep going.
I know that my blue buff is up. I know that my red buff is up in a minute, so I want to path that direction.
At least check mid. Good. Okay, that wave's not big enough to come for.
Yep, I can't cover it. I'm too far.
Q this grump for double camp. Okay, yeah, don't throw this Q here. Just pull it together.
Yeah.
You're so strong at this point.
Yeah. Okay. I'm like, wait, what? I don't know why I waited so long. I definitely thought about it after it was already dead. So Kai'Sa's big. So I see that Kai'Sa's getting big. I see that Mord is getting big. Katarina is kind of but I'm strong. My team is strong. I don't know how I'm going to facilitate that into a bigger snowball from here, and I feel that's one of my biggest weak points is that I don't feel like I know how to make. I had the wording in my head here just a second ago, but I'm not observing and orienting enough to continue to making the fast-paced, snappy decisions to like continue facilitating that.
Okay. What I'd say here is you guys aren't in a strong enough position to like super force your way around anything.
I agree.
Generally, you can't actually play super strong macro, especially in low ELO. You're not on comms, you're playing with a bunch of players with different ways of seeing the game and different things they're tracking, different visions. So usually at this stage of the game, when it's a bit more even, you're still playing flexibly. You're obviously playing with win cons in mind, but you still play a bit flexibly. The things I'd be taking note of here are Dragon's up soon, and if they get this, it's really bad, right? They scale quite well, and if they get Ocean Soul, this is really fucked. Especially because their team's longer range than yours. Lux can just poke, and your team's fucked. So
Jinx is the ultimate stand your ground ADC. She has a Lulu, yeah, it's stuffed.
Hopefully.
And Tom, shit.
I actually feel like your Kai'Sa should itemize Serpent's Fang here because she's the only one who can get it. They have a lot of shielding. Lulu, Lux, Tom's shields, so maybe a Serpent's Fang.
I dive Jinx under the tier 2 to end game, the bot lane tier 2 to end this game, and I die to that shielding, stalling, Lulu shit.
It's annoying. It's annoying because your team doesn't really have anyone that can build it really well, and even if Kaisa builds it, well, Kaisa's probably the ideal target because the shields are all going to be on front line. She's going to be hitting them. I don't actually know enough about Kaisa builds to know if that shift her off too quickly, but a Serpent's Fang might be nice for her here. But yeah, let's proceed.
If you handed me the enemy's team comp to play instead, I'd be like, yes, please.
Yeah. Okay.
I see Herald.
I like your team better. Your team has stronger, like, Unga Bunga engage with the Leona into cat ult. Like, I think this comp is more likely to win in low elo. Maybe in high elo when
in low elo, yeah. Because if Jinx is good, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, if Jinx is good, this is oh shit. Because like, if someone's diving, Warwick can ult her, Tom can eat the Jinx. She has double shielding. Like, this is
the wild growth. Yeah.
But just for the fact that Leona exists, and you have like follow up for it, that tends to be quite strong for lower rank play.
I don't know why I still have W on. That's.
I mean, it doesn't matter. At this point, you can keep W permanently on. It's fine.
I usually do wait until I have a Spirit Visage before.
Let me see. Are you losing? No, you're still gaining. Well, is that with red buff alone or?
Yeah, it's only 7.5.
Oh no, yeah. I think you outreach on your W anyways by this point. I'm pretty sure.
Oh really? I should.
Roughly even. Yeah, I mean, you can turn it off. Just make sure it's full stacked before going into fights is all. That's fine.
Should check the math on it. I'm embarrassed.
I mean, even if it like degens you just a little bit, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, yeah, there's no point.
As long as I have all,
there, but it's like just make sure it's full stacked before going into a fight, and it's fine.
True.
Probably use up a smite charge at some point just to speed up, but it doesn't really matter much.
I prefer to keep challenging smite for the duels, but.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if the 2 extra seconds on clear is worth not having a smite.
That's probably true. Mundo clears fast enough. He doesn't need that. Okay, this is a good adjustment.
I'm trying to start a slow push here so I can go to run towards that dragon.
Good job.
Yeah.
Only thing I'd note is ping it on the map. When you look at your mini map and you see your team line is very split off from you, and you're somewhere very different from them, especially if you have members pushing in, right? Like your Kaisa and your Mord's positions are a bit aggressive. Anytime this happens and you see yourself split off, you need to follow this rule of thumb, and that's ping or go.
Ping or go.
Ping or go. You either go to your team so that they don't int, and if you know you have a better idea, if you know there's no point being here right now, if you know you want to set up a slow push or you need to get a camp to buy an item before dragon, something like that, ping it. Ping that you're leaving. Ping that you're going towards topside, and if someone's too aggressive, ping them back. Otherwise, you're just leaving this to complete coin flip, whether your 4 other teammates all decide to play safe. And like if you've played ranked, I'm sure you have enough ranked game to know that that's not a good, like.
It's not, no.
Yeah, just don't leave it up to chance. I completely agree with your macro play here. This is a great macro play, setting up this slow push, getting down there. Only thing is your other guys might int. So again, it's the same thing as the laning phase. If you don't ping, if you could have done something more to prevent it, then if something goes wrong, it's your fault. That's how you have to look at it, no matter how stupid the laners are.
We definitely agree there. I'm trying to base shit.
Actually, this is a bit unexpected. I can't fault you for this.
Yeah, because I thought that Warwick would be towards the spawning dragon. I'm confident, I'm fine here. I smited the Warwick, I popped all, like it's
good stuff.
It's whatever. And not tying to that is huge because it means I get free setup.
Okay, let's see here.
I'm buying vest and plate.
Okay.
1600 is a pretty easy buy for that. I'm definitely paying them on.
So I'm just checking if you had any opportunities to drop a controller or something.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well,
the only thing is like
it's alive still, so I'm like, I'm not prioritizing it until it's like killed usually. But yes.
no. What I see is like you were pretty deep here, right? This is a great opportunity to get some kind of vision, like deep vision, maybe like you know that bush behind red buff
Yep.
that people, that
Yeah.
a lot of junglers like
That
like
banana
way down
brush,
over
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I feel like this was a good chance. You're like deep in here, and you've been sitting
I
with two
agree.
control words for a long time. So.
Oh shit! I know why I don't immediately is because I see that wave coming by and I'm like, I'll show on vision if I try walking in that direction.
Wait,
I
but
think.
couldn't you just come this way? You wouldn't show if.
Yeah. I hadn't considered it before I went over the blast cone.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, I'm boned.
Oopsies. What did I just do?
You scrolled down.
Did the dice scroll? Okay, yeah, here it is.
Okay, so
Here's the reset. Coming back
I'm
out.
watching the fight as I'm moving back out. I see the fight. I don't care about this tower too much. I don't know why I'm pinging it. I do want to be on this dragon.
Okay.
The tier 1's not that important. 17 minutes to get. It's whatever. Yeah.
Ping these guys back.
It's actually it's such a minute.
Okay.
I am definitely
Well, rather than ping them back, you should be F-keying over because you don't need to look at dragon, right? You're not kiting dragon. You don't need to look at dragon at all. You can even press E without looking at it. You're just AFK
True.
autoing. So make sure you look over, see if the fight is like okay looking, so you'll know if you need to break off. You'll know if you need to ping them back, etc. Just better to look.
I agree.
Okay.
It's quite hilarious. You keep saying sensible things, and I'm like, makes sense to me.
Yeah, because I think from my general sense of your gameplay is you have a pretty good, like you're not bad. Your general, you know that you need to be F-keying. You generally know that you need to be pinging at important objectives. Your macro sense is not too bad. It's like you're making pretty appropriate movements on the map.
Standard minimap. That
Right.
helps.
And you're playing a champ where there's not a lot to fuck up individually from like a micro perspective,
Exactly.
right? So where a lot of it is not going so hot is just that you're not doing those checks before actually going in on things, and you're kind of committing without
jumping
appropriate
from-
information,
yep,
right?
yep.
And that's quite damaging on a champ like Mundo because that's all this champ has, right? Like,
Yep.
The
I agree
Challenger
completely.
Mundo is gonna have like the same mechanics as the Silver Mundo. You have some auto resets. That's about it.
Mundo goes where he pleases. Yeah.
Exactly. It's all based on is your clear okay, and do you gather enough information to make proper
To make
decisions?
the play.
Right.
I'm sweeping out the jungle. I don't. It's 18 minutes. I don't know if blue side control. That's kind of.
It's fine. By the time you get
Extra,
back,
yeah.
by the time you go there, super is probably gone. That was an appropriate super usage. Okay.
I know I showed on a lane ward. Well, on the lane. Oh, and I'm like, oh,
Smite.
time to kill Lux. I did not ult. I didn't put the point in my ult.
Okay.
I didn't get the extra regen. I see immediately after the play. I'm like, I could have health here.
Just don't worry about that. Like, yeah, it's something to take care of, but stuff like that, you know, it just happens to every player. So it's like,
Yeah.
you take care of it. You slowly get better at it, but no matter what, like, no matter how good you get, those mistakes are still gonna happen. We're only
Of
human,
course.
so yeah, don't be too hard on yourself.
That doesn't mean I should accept that.
For sure.
I definitely wasn't watching to my experience. Otherwise I've known. Cool.
Okay.
Tom should die if he walks up like that. There's no right to be there. He's like 0-4.
It's probably fine. Normally I'd be pinging this back or heading over the ping or go. But
Leona
because-
and Kaisa have
yeah.
all, so I'm like,
Yeah, because the enemy team's dead, it's kind of they're fine as a 3-man unit here. Pushing this wave out is good. Getting a
Yep.
push in all 3 lanes. Good job.
I see his camps coming up on the other side of the map, so I'm thinking about I want those.
I
So
like
he
that
does
you
not
skipped your camps here. I like that you came and pushed this out.
because I see that Baron is spawning, and I'm like,
Yeah, Baron is spawning, and it
want
just
to
gets you a
stop.
really comfortable scenario where all 3 lanes are pushed in. Then you can like reassess and figure out what to do from there. Gives you just that tempo lead because the enemy team has to come back out and clear the waves. They're forced to respond to that, so it just gives you a nice tempo lead to do that. So good job with that. Definitely be F-keying bot, seeing what is going on there.
Yeah. Yep, I 100% agree.
Okay, looks like Jinx flashed, yeah. Okay, Leona timed it. This one I 100% would type, because at this stage of the game, the ADC, the APC, ADC, their flash timer is huge. 100%
25 minutes.
The game. Yeah, you need to be typing that. Because that's so relevant for how Mundo plays fights, especially because Mundo's one of those like weird midline champions where you'll like reactively peel off of the front line or back line based on what opens up because he's in the fight for so long. So very important.
The whole point of Ghost Chem Tank is to just run at the carry. So I 100% agree with that.
Okay.
I come back. Yeah. I don't know about taking this.
I'm mixed on this.
I see that Leona doesn't have ult, so I'm like, eh. But it's. I should be assessing that into mid lane. Oh, I remember this. They keep fucking them under the tier 2 tower, and I'm like, bro, it's a tier 2. Can we stop sieging this?
I think
because it's just.
I'm mixed on your decision here. There's points for both sides. There's no exact right or wrong to it. Let's talk about the pros and cons.
Okay.
First thing I see is you did ping that you were coming back here. Very good. Very, very good. What I do also see is that you do still have to note you're the only one that's not on the same page. And sometimes
I agree.
You have to keep in mind, sometimes a decision's not the best decision, but if everyone's on the same page on it and you're ahead, it works out better anyways. It works out better than a good play that nobody's in sync on, right? So I agree. There's actually not much sense in pushing here. There were fights. People probably have a lot of gold. There's nothing really big here. Should get gold. Should get Baron. Should get vision control here because you guys pushed the lanes out. Got a great tempo lead. So the enemy laners are forced to respond to that. You get a free reset. Come back out onto the map strong. Ward up here. Play for Baron. That would be a good macro play from like a team perspective. So I agree. There's no
and
big,
I'm
there's
just
no big rush here.
Considering. I'm just because I am considering that. I do recall that in this moment, I'm like, I am the only one not in the mid lane. I am the only one not doing anything proactive right now.
Right.
Am I in the wrong right here? Should I go mid? And then I'm just, I do eventually pan over to that camera. I'm like, it's pokey, it's low. We've all been in that situation where we get aced at the enemy tier 2 because we really some reason had to take that tower.
Right, exactly. Right. Good reset time. What I would say is this is a gray space. From a macro play perspective, in a team setting, you are correct here. Your team should be backing off. I don't think you're completely in the right for a number of reasons. Number one, you pinged over, but you didn't ping back on them. So this isn't strong enough. This is good. This is better than what you had before. It's not enough. If you know that this is a throw condition, because you're completely splitting off and your other 4 are aggressive. And the second thing you need to note is, look at the champions. If you have a bunch of disengaged champions like Janna, Lulu, stuff that doesn't go in, okay, whatever, right?
Can't go out.
If you have a Lux mid, if you have their comp, basically, if you have a Lux mid, a Lulu bot, disengaged comp that are just poking away and they can disengage easily, whatever, right? You have a pick comp. This Leona is going to be looking to go in. If you see champions like Nautilus, Leona, Annie, something's going to happen, right? Just from the champions, that's how the people play the champs. People on engaged champs like to engage. And
more Katarina,
exactly.
Bloodthirsty.
They see 4 people, they see they're strong, they want to go, they're not really thinking about a proper reset macro play. So what I would say is, your macro decision, correct. Your ping here, correct. Your pings here, not nearly strong enough. If you really want to call this play off, light this area up in back pings, like fucking 50 of them, until you can't ping anymore. If you really judge that this is a really bad play, don't let it go down to chance. The second thing that I don't agree with is, at this point, you can see that they're going anyways. At this point, you can look at that they're not quite backing up and looking for reset.
I already see it,
Yeah, this ping right here. So because this is happening, you need to immediately F key over. You need to either spam ping back or you need to beeline right for here. because
I agree.
right, because you get these 2 camps, you get some gold, you get some EXP. By this point in the game, what does that do for you, right? 2 camps early game.
10 ability haste and a couple hundred gold. Yeah.
Right, because like early game, that's big, right? Early game, that might get you from level 5 to level 6. It might get you to your next item purchase, to your first big item. This point in the game, you have an item, you have boots, you're not close to a level spike. Like, the relative value of each camp is lower now because you have more total gold and EXP. So it becomes more and more okay to give up on this. You don't have to be quite as efficient. If you think about relative value, like, let's consider Mundo's second big item. It's usually a DMP, right? Dead Man's Plate.
I don't typically go Dead Man's. I typically go into Spirit Visage after the Bramble Vest.
Okay. Let's just look at it from that perspective, though. Let's say it's a DMP because that's the standard build, right? What does DMP do? It helps you get into a fight faster, right?
Slow, percent movement, speed, armor, health, all the stuff.
It gives the tank stats and it gives you map mobility to get to a fight faster. So what happens if you get to a fight late because you were farming up DMP? That kind of defeats the purpose, no? Yeah, you can kind of look at it from that perspective. An item buy going from Bramble to Thornmail is not going to make up for being to a fight late by this point in the game. So this,
I am painfully aware of the situation we were talking about of like, I am here, I should be there with the team. I know it's a bad fucking idea, but I should be there.
Right. Remember,
I see Lux because I'm like, yo guys, if you want to, because in my head right now I'm like, yo, just like walk into Fog of War and then make the pick. Don't stand in front of the tower.
Yep, it's just kind of like it sucks
because I
when
did
you
adapt.
know the right macro play and your team doesn't, but you do have to be understanding that it's a bunch of
Did I not drop a ward? What?
Bunch of players not on comms, right? With different ideas for the games. They're all looking at their individual gold. They're like, oh, I want this item, you know. So ping more.
Yep. Because I see Kaisa just based and they're all walking towards us, I'm like, hey, ace him in the enemy jungle, let's go. We don't actually, I don't think we do Baron off this, actually. I popped ult, I don't know why, I was not on that play.
I think as a player, you're just too set in what you want to do. It's the same thing with the Dragon, you kind of funneled in. It's the same thing with the mid gank. Like, it feels like you decided that this is the correct play and I will go for this no matter what. You need to be a bit more flexible than that because the situation changes, right? The situation changes from second to second. The situation will always change. The factors will change. Where people move on the map, what information is available, it keeps changing. So you need to be a bit more mentally flexible and like prepared to just back off and change off your plan. And I understand the situation. It's frustrating. Like,
it's very frustrating.
You know the correct play. You know beyond a shred of a doubt what the correct play is here, and your team will not listen. You've been actually pinging like mad, and they still won't listen.
I actually timeout pings here after this reset when this tier 2 thing doesn't happen, because of course it doesn't.
Good.
That's what you should actually type out to them, please take free Baron, don't. I fuck in front of tier 2, and I turn the chat back off, but yeah.
I completely understand this scenario. It's frustrating as a player, it's frustrating as a jungler, and it'll keep happening no matter what rank you reach. This keeps happening. Do your best at preventing it with pings in advance, and if they don't come, be with your team. Don't be the one guy splitting off, because what can you do as a lone Mundo? You don't do anything to this Baron.
I don't split push. I don't.
Right. Exactly.
I'm 200 Mundo games in. I am painfully aware of he can't do. He needs a good TPS. It's like,
right? Like, look at
I need Kaisa here right now.
Yeah, exactly. So if Kaisa doesn't come,
of the tier 2.
If Kaisa doesn't come, it sucks. Be with Kaisa.
Yep. I see Kaisa in front of the tier 2. I think right now, and I'm like, yep, it's scuffed. So I just reset.
I agree. They're way out of line. Like, this is how games get thrown, but You know, it is what it is. You make the best out of whatever your situation is.
Yep. I now have to come to the dragon because I don't want to give him soul point. I have time to grab it. I could have been setting up over there.
Yeah, it was probably safer just to come here, just because it's soul.
Yep. Well, in the moment, I'm like, well, at least that way they can't try to sneak a Baron.
Yeah, that's valid. I think their lane position, their position is just not appropriate for sneaking a Baron anyways. I think it's just more important to be here, just because it's soul point. Okay.
Hex flash over the wall. Good job, Leona. You're using your brain.
Not pulling it out, not using her brain.
No. I'm scared of because I'm like, I can't smite anything. I need to wait for Lux to ult. So I'm scared they're just gonna DPS it down and give the dragon over.
Yeah, like I would actually be pinging off this dragon. It's not worth this kind of risk to give the soul, because like just the way it push them off first, get good vision down here, push them off the dragon. You have control wards. So if you didn't spam ping off this dragon, that's on you.
I did not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you kind of followed in here, and for sure, like this is a bit pointless. Like it's a pointless risk.
Mort is in a side lane right now anyway. We should have been
right. He could have gotten great
our dance
down here, and it would have been like a great stall, right? Because they have to be here. It's soul point.
Yeah, they have to.
Win con. So Mort gets like a free ass push down here. It's a great situation.
I definitely do recognize that just spending time here, just extending, just forcing them to stay here is really strong.
Yeah, it's already great. It's already a great move, and this introduces risk that doesn't need to be here. I think the other problem is, do you know how Dragon Patience Bar and how Dragon Pulls and stuff work?
It attacks the closest enemy.
Right.
If it juggles too often, even inside its own tether zone, it will reset.
Right, so the thing I'd notice here is because Leona's in here, there's no way to pull this thing out. You'd have to spam ping her back, because she probably doesn't know quite how it works. And you're not spam pinging her, so this dragon's not going to pull out.
I didn't even... I certainly didn't take it for account. At that point, high minds on Lux and Tom that just ulted into the pit for some reason.
Yeah, well, not some reason. It's understandable. Like, it's very understandable.
Okay, so... Oh, shit. Yeah.
Wait, was this not soul point?
No. It was third, because I got the...
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you said it was soul point. Okay, that's a bit better then, because it's not quite
It puts them on soul point.
Yeah. It's like, it's not as bad, but still. Okay, Leona's dead. Maybe an iffy Baron timer.
I'm just trying to pull them towards the Baron, because I saw Jinx bottom.
Right.
Yeah, and I see that the mid's push, so I'm like, yeah, because I even question Mark paying Jinx. I'm like, you can't go down there right now because you need to be on the top half of the map. This
is solid. I think. Be ready to peel off if something really bad happens, but I think the call for Baron here is solid because you saw Jinx.
Hit the smite. I don't know why Warwick kept on going in. I'm like, you're inting, my man. Okay. Hit the slow. Reset. Oh, no. Wait. No.
Don't reset with
it.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, you're the tank. You stay.
Yep.
Kaisa here.
I thought I saw a play. I'm like, nope, they're all there. Can't do it.
Yeah, because if Kaisa dies here because you left,
it's super bad.
It stymies your entire Baron push, and the game delays out, and their team obviously scales like a fucking monster. So yeah.
Not good. I 100% agree here.
Okay.
I think Mord is fine. No, he doesn't have ult.
Yeah, the thing here is like maybe he's fine, maybe he's not. It's just a coin flip, and it just didn't need to happen.
They're fed, but like
like this
Tom
situation
will stop them from kiting. Yep. Oh, Katarina. Yeah.
Okay, that's probably game. Just put an end.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. I think I got salty. Kaisa took my red buff, and I pushed top instead of helping her go.
Oh, come on. That should go to Kaisa.
It was a rough emotional roller coaster of a game.
Oh no,
I am completely in. If that is what happens, I'm completely in the wrong for it, and I acknowledge it.
Yeah, also here as well, it's kind of like, remember when I said ping or go? you're splitting off from your team. You're
Oh,
Leona
shit,
pulled off
yep.
with you. It's
I didn't even
okay
notice.
to get lane pressure, but ping it. Ping you're coming here and ping your laners to be safe. It's just better to be safe and just not have to deal with the frustration of like people not realizing and going in and dying and then everything's fine.
I agree.
Right? I don't know why Leona followed you though. Someone should be, at least you or Leona should be with them at all times.
Yeah, man, if I walked towards and I did Krugs in there, I'm like, I'm trolling super hard. Okay. I see Jinx and I'm like, kill her. She's dead. Want her to die super badly. I'm F-king to see who's where and what's going on. I'm like, I need Leona here, and she's on her way. She has her ult. I'm like, hell yeah. Let's go. I pop ult a little early.
Yeah. Okay, that's...
No.
Yeah, that's fair. I have no idea what Leo was doing. I was gonna say, if Leo's not there, then this is similar to the dragon play, where you're in a good spot because 2 got drawn out to T2, and your team has a free push, so there's no need for this play. Because it's a 2v2 rather than a 1v2, I think this is fair to go on it. It's just that Leona kind of fucked up.
Because the moment I see the kill scores coming out on the right, I'm like, I just have to keep Jinx here for as long as humanly possible, and the game is over.
Right. I think
so. Like, I know that this is going to kill me after I hit the re-engage here onto Jinx.
Yeah, but
I know I'm probably dying for it, but it's the end of the game, so who cares?
Right. Yeah. The only thing I'd note is if Leona was moving up towards Kaisa, then it's not appropriate to go in because you'd rather keep Jinx here, right? She's big wave here for them. So this is a situation just like Dragon where you just want to stall out because it's a favorable situation already. But I do agree because Leona's here. Ping in more. You should be spam pinging here to let her know because she's probably looking mid because she's prioritizing her Kaisa, right? So she's looking at what's happening mid right now, and that's probably why she was so late on this play.
I'm in the middle of assessing, so I don't ping because
like
don't have much APM for it. Yep.
Okay, here you ping. Yeah, so it's a bit understandable from Leo's side actually, because realistically speaking, this Kaisa is more important than you at this point in the game. Staying with
completely
the cat. So
yes, 100%.
Yeah, if you do want to make a play, you need to be the more proactive and pinging it out. But looks like that's the game now. Or
is it? No. Oh yeah. I did the thing. She stole my red buff.
Oh.
No.
Wait, no. You got the red buff. Might have been a different game. Either way, these should all be going to Kaisa at this point. This is not important on you.
I should just take red in immediately. Well, if Kaisa was on her way to red. I take the soul. I think they surrender after this team fight.
Man, you're like this soul is. I think this is happening kind of consistently, actually. Like, I don't think this is a fluke. This is the 3rd time this game where
this is not. No.
Yeah. No. Just press tab more. Look at it from the position of like you need to lead your team to be the one there. So if you're not there, you know.
Yep.
Right.
I'm not scared about the objective fight because I know we're so big, but that's not an excuse to like
not into that.
Not be on the objective on time. Yeah.
Because that comp can actually, if the Jinx
win
is
a fight,
like they can. She has Hurricane. They can keep clearing here, scale up. If they win one fight in their base, your win chance drops a lot because 1, they have Soul and they can sustain. 2, they're getting so much farm that your team is getting denied. 3, they scale so much better in that kind of situation. So yeah, you do actually have to be somewhat careful here. Don't get too lax.
But the moment I saw Warwick there, I'm like, it's doomed.
Yeah,
okay, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just trying to run it. Whoever. Yeah. Okay. So the game's over. Thanks.
All right. Functionally, this one's done. We can take a look at it. Do you have any like questions, comments, concerns that you want to go over first before we like check out another game?
Well, I have stuff written down, but I'm more. I think you pointed out a ton of good. I think that your assessment of my shortcomings here is very poignant because it's something that I got the sense of myself, but because of all of the complexity inherent to League, it's hard to prioritize and know, like,
Exactly.
this is the important thing I need to work on to get the most out of what I'm trying to do here.
Right, and I think the other thing that makes it a bit difficult is that, yes, there's some wrong decisions, but a lot of what went wrong wasn't like you had option A, you had option B, you had option C, you looked at them and you chose the wrong one because of bad game understanding. Rather than that, it was more like you didn't consider the other options in some of these scenarios because you weren't looking and gathering that information soon enough, so that you didn't know those options were like on the table early enough. So from like an self-improvement perspective, it's hard to improve off that because it's not like you made a incorrect choice. You're like, I did what I could with what I had in game. And obviously, like a lot of these things, if you went in and reviewed on your own in a replay, you'd say the same things without needing someone else to point it out, right? You'd recognize that, oh my god, I missed this, I missed this, I missed this. The difference is in the information gathering in game, which is difficult, to be totally fair. It's very difficult. It's a very mechanical practice to be able to F key everywhere, keep track of all the lanes, ping so much. It's very mechanical. Like what you do with the information is macro, but the actual practice of having super good F keys, super good camera control, that's all mechanical. So it's hard, and it's hard to recognize where things are going wrong because you don't know things are going wrong because you didn't realize the other option was there.
Because you haven't observed and oriented to it yet,
Right. As soon as you get that out of the way, as soon as you have really good map vision, then a lot of things open up in terms of room for growth as a player. Because what I see here is like, yes, there's some things you can fix right away. You can go like, okay, I need to check dragon more often, see when it's up, I need to ping it more often, need to ping my teammates a bit more often, right? But beyond that, there's not a lot of room for growth potential because you're on Mundo, right? Your clear is mostly okay, your champ is simple. That's the cap, unless you open up room for growth by introducing all this new information gathering and introducing new levels to your play. Because for example, there's other levels that you're missing entirely in your play, such as like tracking summoners, tracking camp timers, things like that would help inform your play even more, that tell you where to go, this lane's vulnerable because no flash, etc. Right now, because these things are inherently missing from your play, there's no room to grow in these regards. So what I would work on is, even if it's difficult, even if there's going to be growing pains anytime you try to focus on one of these things, because it's hard, right? It's hard to introduce these new things into your play while there's so many other things to be working on and focusing on in game. It tends to make your play suffer for a while because you're trying so hard to focus on these new things. But you know, you just have to look at it logically and be like, this needs to happen eventually, right? Otherwise I won't grow.
Yeah. I would rather suffer for like 10, 20 games and build those better habits than try to grind out another 100 games in gold.
Like go almost nowhere, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
What I'd note is you can be flexible in how if you recognize and agree that these are issues that you need to tackle, you can be flexible in how you approach fixing them. Not everything has to come from just grinding away 5v5 game after game. There's plenty of things that you could do, like maybe targeted drills for, or you can work on it by looking at higher level players, seeing like how much they do something. For example, if you're working on F keys, there's this one player, obviously you can look at Faker, his F keys are crazy.
I have,
but you can also look at high ELO junglers like the Odd Orange. He's a Lee Sin, challenger Lee Sin player. He doesn't F key at all, he doesn't use F keys, but he's so insanely active with his map clicking. He just clicks and like his in-game looks crazy. Like he's looking at his champ for a second or two, then he's just like flying across the map, checking all the lanes. Like his map is just flying. It's kind of disorienting.
I miss not having pro view, otherwise I would be utilizing it. Certainly.
Yeah, so things like that can kind of motivate you and show you like just how big the gap is, how much you need to work on it, how much you need to push. It can show you their way of doing it, where they're prioritizing looking and when. Things like that. Those are avenues of improvement. Coming up with drills for yourself. Like I'm sure you did some Mundo practice tool drills for the clearing, right? To get the clearing down.
Of course.
Right. So given that F keys and timers and pings, those are inherently mechanical things. It's the exact same as practicing a clear. It's the exact same as going into practice tool and practicing insects on Lee Sin. It's purely mechanical, and that's why it's so difficult to do in game. Because if you're not mechanically proficient at it, you don't really get mechanically proficient at it just from spamming games, right? If you don't know how to insect, it's hard to learn to insect without going into a custom and practicing it, right? You just keep fucking it up in game because there's not as many opportunities to focus on it and hunker down. So if you find yourself struggling to really up your camera control, up your ping activity, up your timers, just drill it. Don't go into a 5v5. Go into a custom with 9 bots, 9 intermediate bots, play in 10-minute intervals. That's what I recommend. Clear your jungle. Put heavy priority on, well, first off, your clear should be solid. So that shouldn't change. You shouldn't impact the integrity of your own champion and your clear. But go into a custom, 9 bots, 10-minute intervals, clear your jungle, do whatever. Put heavy priority on F keys, on knowing the lane state in each lane at every relevant point, any point that's relevant to your decision making. Put heavy priority on F keys. Anytime you're counter jungling, type timers. If you come in and take his raptors at 12:30, type 14:30 ERA for enemy raptors. If you take his Gromp at 10, type 12 EG. If you're starting a linear clear from Gromp to Krugs, time your Gromp just so you have the respawn timer in mind for your, like, if you're coming back out of base, you know exactly when it's coming back up, so you can inform your pathing decisions. If you see a bot flash, press it on the scoreboard, and when you're running out of base, when you have free time, type it out. Ping everywhere. It's just like a mechanical practice, right? There's not actual players there, but it's just to force that habit into yourself, to force the mechanical practice into yourself, because once you go in game, it gets harder. There's so much more to think about, so get that out of the way.
It needs to be passive because there's too much going on in game to spare the mental APM to remember to do those mechanics and consider the state of the game. So
exactly.
I absolutely agree.
Exactly. It's like,
I've played plenty of StarCraft 2. I'm painfully aware.
So it's like autopilot's not a bad thing. It's that your autopilot needs to be good. That way you can think about other things.
I think that that's an apt phrasing.